the fishing club. And I'm fishing 4 or 5 nights a week as it is. So obviously I was like, of course, man. So the bad part was that late in the year, we couldn't get something approved for the following year. So, the administration said it was great. It's a great idea. But then we had to wait a whole year.
Oh, okay.
So we actually had to start that next September. So the only good thing was, because Steve was a senior then, so it wasn't like he had to miss it.
Right.
But yeah, it was cool. Our first year we had probably about 70, 75 kids.
Really?
And that was my original goal was, I want to be one of the biggest clubs. I want to do this, I want to do that, and not realizing, I'm sure a lot of kids just, I teach mostly freshmen, so I'm sure here's our kazoo. Get out there. So I think a lot of them just kind of joined because I was running it, or they had some friends here or there. So of those 75 people, there were probably about 20 to 25 that were really serious. So that when we did this year, we didn't do as much advertising. It was kind of, I wanted to get the more serious fishermen out there. So we're about 25, 30 people right now.
Now, what does the club do? How often do you guys get together and go out fishing? And are you trying to get into any kind of tournaments, anything like that?
Yeah, it's actually, we meet once a week. We have that awesome scheduled unit lunch, so everybody has off the same lunch. So we meet every Thursday, and we talk about our reports and fundraisers, trips, all that. The pain part is with the trips and everything, especially with fishing, we really can't do something. Hey, it's going to be beautiful on Saturday. Let's all go fishing, because you got the permission slips and get it board approved. So and this is actually the first club. I've always been a coach. I've never done a club, so I'm kind of trying to figure that out as we go here. So I think we went on 3 trips last year. We did a surf fishing, we did Birch Grove, and then we did the Nick Connor tournament. Nick was one of the guys we lost in the football crash a couple of years ago.
Uh-huh.
So we did 3 last year, and they were a little bit of a mess. We actually, Greg O'Connell, who's the president of ASAC, the local surf fishing tournament, or surf fishing club. See, there's one shout out for you, Greg. He was, as soon as you tell anybody that you're getting kids into fishing, they're all about jumping in. They always want to help. They always want to do everything. So Greg got us in, and we fished a tournament in Brigantine last year, and it was great. We didn't catch any fish. But with the tournament, there were just so many rules. You could only fish one rod. You have to fish this one spot. So it's kind of, with my kids, my kids are very diverse. Like we have some are actually mates on fishing boats in the summertime. So they're great. They know what they're doing. They have nicer stuff than I do. And then we have some kids who have been, they're intermediate. They've been fishing a little bit here and there. And then we have some kids, they used to fish with their grandfather, and they really want to get out there. So it's a diverse. Like I always thought it was going to be, kids who were as serious as me, and they're going to be all about it, but it's a little bit of everything, which I actually like.
Talking with Brian Hatz from Mainland Regional High School, head of the fishing club. Now, Brian, you're really not big time until you get on the Rack and Fin radio show, the show that precedes us with Tom P.
I was listening to Tom. Yeah, I was listening to him before you were on. He was getting me all fired up. So I figured, I'll warm up with Sully, and then if I do a good job, then maybe they'll bump me up,
What do you got? Where's the action? Where are you running?
Oh, he's the best. I can't even imagine later in the day if he's that pumped up in the morning,
So what are the hot spots this time of year? What's running? Striper still running?
It's funny, because we, our meetings kind of dwindle a little bit.
By the way, that's the only thing I know about fishing is to say, are the striper running?
That's all right. As long as you don't add an extra P in there, then we stay out of trouble.
There you go.
So now, I'm still out, fishing every once in a while, probably 2-3 nights a week. And I'm not giving any spots out. I'll have guys be lined up at my door to hunt me down here. But the kids, most of them think I'm crazy. We meet every Thursday. We actually have a bunch of girls in the club. About 30 kids. I want to say about 10 or 12 of them are girls, and They're always the first ones at the meeting. They're always there with the boys stroll in 15 minutes later. Oh, we had a meeting. It's like, yeah, it's Thursday, every Thursday. But yeah, I'll give them my report. I caught 7 last night. I was out till 2 a.m. They just look at me like, you're insane. I can't believe you do this. So yeah, we have as I think Tom was talking about before, where there's 1 week left in stripers, so at least for the Back Bay, we have to stop December 31st. But they're still out there. The problem is now with all the presenting and all that good stuff we're doing for Christmas, it kind of makes it tough. But Yeah, we actually last. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to ask you, what kind of concessions do you have to make as a husband when you're out 3-4 nights a week till 2 a.m. fishing?
Oh man, I know she's listening to this dude downstairs right now.
That's got to be at least like 4 loads of laundry, some other stuff.
Well, that's kind of the trade-off, though. I mean, that's everyone. I do most of my fishing at night. That way, I'm not missing any time with the girls or hanging out. Like I don't miss any family time. You know what I mean? I'm not missing parties. I'm not missing anything like that. So that's the big thing. My concession would be is I don't sleep. You know what I mean? There's been nights when we've had a hot striper bite, this and that, and I don't even go to bed. I go home,
really,
have a cup of coffee, get the baby up, and then go get teaching.
Wow.
But, yeah, when you catch 20, 30 fish in a night, it kind of gets that adrenaline pumping, and I'm addicted. I really started surfing or striper fishing hard probably about 3 or 4 years ago. And I can't even describe it. You know what I mean? It keeps me up at night. It's really, really all I think about. So
it's become an obsession then, right?
Yeah. It's gotten bad. A little expensive too, but I was going to say, don't tell the wife, but she's listening.
Now, are you one of those guys that has the old worn-out ball cap with the fishing lures all over it?
No, I don't have one with fishing lures all over it, but you better.
Come on, man. That's a staple. You got to have that.
I've got my Philadelphia Phillies, the hat I got in 2008, the one giveaway they had, and it's got a rusty. It does have one rusty hook on it. Yeah, I'm very, very, very superstitious. So absolutely.
Talk with Brian Hatz from Mainland Regional High School, runs the fishing club over there. Brian, what's the coolest thing about this club? I'm sure you get to know these kids on a little bit different level than maybe just in a classroom setting. You probably get to know more about their personal lives. Like you said, they talk about their grandfathers and stuff like that. How cool is that for these kids to relay stories about their life to you and the people that had an influence on them when they were growing up?
And that's definitely one of the coolest parts. I mean, there's kids from all around. You know what I mean? I have a couple athletes. There's football players. I have a bunch of girls. I have, a couple kids that are in the band. When I'm trying to plan trips, it's one of the hardest part. I got to make sure the band doesn't have a competition. And I actually kind of messed that up on our first trip. It was the week before Thanksgiving, and I didn't realize that the football team would practice on a Saturday. So I had 4 or 5 football players who couldn't go with us. It kind of broke my heart. No, but it's cool, and it's a lot of these kids, some are athletes, some are band, but some just hunt and fish, you know what I mean? And there really wasn't anything. That's when I started looking into it, and I found out there wasn't a fishing club. I'm like, guys, we're 5 minutes from the bay.
Right.
You know what I mean? How could there not be a fishing club? And apparently there used to be one a long, long, long time ago, and then I guess as that teacher retired, the kind of club went with it. But yeah, I mean, like I said, there's this one, I got to throw my man Jake Dill out there. Hopefully he's listening. He's a junior this year. And he's somebody, I mean, we eat lunch together every day. We meet Thursdays and everything, but Jake is in there with his crew. And it was just cool. It's just to see them mature, not only as students, because I had Jake when he was a freshman in algebra class, but, just recently he really wanted to start catching tog. So we were sending him to a couple different spots, and we were showing him what to use, this and that. And then, throughout the year, I think he ended up catching, 4 or 5 keeper tog this fall. And the pictures he would send me, he'd put on Twitter, with the absolute gigantic smiles and everything. And, I think there was actually one lunch, and he was kind of like, after he caught the one keeper, he was like, "Coach, I get it. This is why you do this." And I'm like, "Oh, it only gets worse." And he actually just got his license last week too. So he's like, "I got all my stuff in my car, Coach. I'm ready to go."
That's awesome.
And I was like, "Yeah, all we need now is springtime to come." But yeah, the kids. I mean, all the kids at Mainland. I was at Pennsauken High School before I was at Mainland, and I love me some Pennsauken High School. It was great, but man, being at Mainland, it's like walking on water every day. Kids, the administration, the teachers there, it's awesome, Dave.
Now, how many of these kids have seen a river runs through it?
Probably none of them, unless they have a video game.
That's got to be a midwinter club meeting. Just show that movie.
I'm going to put that on the agenda, Dave. Absolutely.
There you go. Good stuff, Brian. We're up against the break here. Got to let you go, but thanks for taking a few minutes, and enjoy your Christmas weekend.
Thank you for having me, Dave. You guys have a great holiday.
Thanks, you too, man.
All right, thanks, buddy. See you guys.
That was Brian Hatz, runs the fishing club over at Mainland High School.